Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Awaken to Your Soul Path. I am your host, Barbara, and today I am joined by the wonderful Antoinette Revier, and we are going to talk about how self love is the key to happiness. And I am so happy that you are here to talk to me about this because this is such an important topic. I
Absolutely.
think this is the mother of all topics, and if not all, then many topics are related to this topic. So I am very much looking forward to talking about this today. So thank you so much, Antoinette, for being here today and being my guest on the show.
You're welcome. I'm looking forward to it.
Me too. So I have known Antoinette for a long time. I've done some of her workshops. So I'm also very happy that we now get to talk about this important topic together. And maybe a good place to start is talking a little bit about what self love actually is, what self love is to a lot of people, what the difference is between the two, and why there is a difference.
Well, you can think of self love of trying to get something from somebody else and then starting to please somebody else because then you will get what you're longing for. And then you find out that's not working because, after all, you do not get what you're longing for. Because what is it that you are longing for? You long for love, you long for peace, you long for coming home to yourself, really.
Mhm.
Missing parts. In every human being, we have missing parts. And these missing parts, we had to let them go when we were a child and we were experiencing all kinds of circumstances which were exciting sometimes, but sometimes really hard. And then you had to let go and let go of the illusion of I'm going to be loved for always by my parents, because there are moments that you did not feel like that,
Mhm.
or that you were secure and safe. There were moments that you did not feel like that.
Mhm.
Let them go. So you adapted to an idea of love and self love. And if you are not really busy in this kind of work of developing yourself, then you might just still be looking for the approval and the love outside of you.
Mhm.
And you can do all kinds of stuff to get that, to get what you once had to let go.
Mhm. I see that a lot with my clients that are coming. It's often when there's been trauma and they have missed love and they really long for love, a very strong long for love. And oftentimes the people that come to me feel like they are very different from everybody else and that plays a role in why they weren't loved. And that also plays a huge role in why they try to turn themselves into someone they think other people will love and will want in their life, would want to be friends with, have a relationship with, hire as an employee, all kinds of things. And that usually changes the behavior in such a way that it becomes more to please the other person than to truly be good to you.
Exactly, exactly. And but how can you be good to you? How can you how can
Yeah.
you take the risk of being rejected by the outside world in order to please yourself?
Exactly, especially when you haven't seen that example. So many people think that when you think of yourself, which is self love, thinking of yourself and your needs and your wants, that you're then being selfish or egoistical.
Exactly. And that's a wrong idea in your own head, because thinking of yourself and making yourself number one in your life is the best you can do. And you set an example by doing that. You show other people, this is who I am. I do it. And I used to please when I was younger. Oh my God, I did everything for love and I got nothing. I mean, I got rejected, I got divorced, my heart broken. And I was so pleasing and so nice and sweet. And now I have the love of my life already for more than 8 years.
Mm.
Time flies by. But
Yes.
I'm not pleasing anymore. I
Hmm.
set my boundaries and I say, oh, no, this is what I need. And this is who I am. And this is what I stand for.
Hmm.
And that's
Exactly.
me. And he can accept it, reject it, whatever. And we work it out.
But that's
And
it,
I'm
right? If
free.
we do not love ourselves, how can we expect someone else to love us
Exactly.
for ourselves?
Exactly.
And if we don't show the outside world who we are, usually because we don't know who we are, then how can the right people love us for who we actually are? So it's a whole process, right? And two things that really helped me in this process was one, really understanding that I cannot pour from an empty cup. If I do not fill myself up, if I don't make sure that I have enough energy, that I sleep enough, that I feel happy and rested and all the good stuff within myself, then I cannot be there for other people. And the other was realizing and deeply embodying that when I say no to other people, I'm saying yes to myself. Not because I'm cruel to other people, not because I'm selfish, not because I don't want to do stuff for other people, but because I can do then things for other people, because I've made sure that I'm okay first.
It's being loyal to yourself.
Yes.
And again, I have to say this, it's putting yourself on number one. And also, it means that you step out of this image of yourself being a child, still longing for this approval. You step
Mm,
out of this image and you become aware who you really are. And who you are is a grown up person, a grown up man, a grown up woman. And you have possibilities. And we can react different than before when
mhm.
we're a child. You should
Yes.
know that only 5% of our consciousness, we live by that. The rest, you think, oh, I think so I control my life, I decide my life. It's nonsense. Excuse me. It's 95% you are controlled by the subconscious feelings. And mostly these emerge from your childhood. They
Mhm.
started there. So all the lacks, all the pain, all the traumas you had to go through when you were a child, they are stored in that subconscious and you're being led by that.
Mhm.
But if you become more aware, you can make different choices. You can see better, wow, I am a grown up person. I have a choice. I have a mouth. I can speak my words.
I can make up my own mind.
Hallelujah. So if you do that consciousness with consciousness, it changes. It changes
Yes.
everything.
But you're saying something very important there. It comes with awareness. But so many people are unaware. They
Absolutely.
are unaware of this behavior. They're unaware of these patterns. They are mostly aware of the fact that they're unhappy and that no matter how hard they try, they're still not feeling loved. And people are still treating them badly or ghosting them or ignoring them or all the things that they don't want, which make them try even harder. So, how can people get to that awareness? Are there triggering factors or?
It's by looking at yourself. Just right now, you're looking at me or at Barbara. And whilst you are looking at us, you can see yourself. Look at your hands. How are you holding your hands? Look at your head. How's your head? Is it tilted? Don't change. Just look at it. And this looking at yourself, either your hands, your body, you can also use for your thoughts. Look at your thoughts. What are you thinking? And put it in perspective. Is that a conscious thought which makes you happy? Or is that a thought that puts yourself down, that you are telling yourself you're no good, which is nonsense? Yeah, but I'm no good. I made mistakes. Yeah. So what? And we all do. Yeah, but I'm really a bad person. Yeah, that's subconscious. Look at your thoughts. And as soon as you discover a thought which is not helping, not helpful, you can decide, I stop it. I stop believing what I'm thinking and I choose a better one because we are all human beings. We all make mistakes, everybody.
Yes, that is a
I'm the
thing
queen.
that's sure. There are two things that I think are, well, three maybe if you count the rising and the going down of the sun. But the other two things that are for sure is change. There will always be change. You can count on change. Everything will always change. So that's the thing that's for sure. And another thing that's indeed for sure is that everybody makes mistakes. We are all here to learn things, and most
Human
of us learn
beings.
by trial and error. Some people with more trial and error than other people, but everybody learns with trial and error. And I loved what you shared because this is indeed a very important thing. And you first need to become aware of your unconscious thoughts, the thoughts that you're thinking without being consciously aware of them. And an exercise that indeed is really good with to find those is to take 10 minutes and maybe take one of your alarm clocks, or how we call it in Dutch, the eierwekker, and turn it to 10 minutes, and as a stopwatch to 10 minutes, and then just be in a quiet room with no distractions, and have a pen and a notebook next to you, and just let your thoughts go, let your mind go, and then as soon as you become aware of something that you're thinking about, write it down. No judgment, no needing to classify it yet, just observing and writing, observing and writing. And you do that for the 10 minutes that you set the alarm to. And then at the end of the 10 minutes, when the alarm rings, then you start taking stock of the things that you wrote down, and you start looking at, what am I thinking when I'm not aware, when I just let everything go, when I just let my mind wander? What does my mind wander to? And then think, am I happy with these things? Right?
That's it. That's it. And it's called, I think, emptying out what you do. You
Mhm.
just pour your mind and it, whatever goes out of your system creates space.
Yes.
It creates peace, stillness. And that is what you're longing for. But you're looking often, you're searching on in the wrong places,
Hmm.
trying to get something from the outside world, which is not working because they only mirror to you what's inside of you.
Hmm.
Because you see it with your eyes and your mindset. And with your mindset, you can only see what is known to you,
Yes.
what you have experienced when you were a child. We cannot make it different. So, this emptying out on paper or this looking at yourself is becoming more aware. And the more aware you are, the more peace you get, the more possibilities. And
Hmm.
that makes life exciting.
Yes.
That,
You're
that,
absolutely
that is,
right.
that
That's exactly why one of the exercises I give my clients when they cannot go to sleep because the mind just keeps going and going and going and going, right?
yeah.
People, especially when they are in a burnout or nearing a burnout, have a mind that they cannot shut off. It just keeps going. It's also to write down everything that the mind is thinking about, because as soon as you write it down, you don't have to actively keep it present in your mind to remember for the next day or days. You can always go to your notebook and read it again. So it like you said, it frees up space. And And when you then look at the things that you write, then you can decide for yourself, are these uplifting thoughts or are these dragging me down thoughts? Are these constructive thoughts that are helping me get to where I want to go? Or are these thoughts that are just really not helping me at all? And when you realize that maybe the majority of your thoughts are thoughts that are not helping you at all, and then you know that 90% of your thoughts is what you keep repeating day after day after day after day after day, then you can be fairly certain that if what you wrote down in those 10 minutes and all of it is negative, that what you keep thinking is negative in your unconscious. And as soon as you become aware of that, awareness triggers a choice. Awareness triggers, okay, now that I'm aware of this, do I want to continue with this? Do I want to keep thinking these thoughts? And if you're like me and if you're like Antoinette, you think, no, no, I don't. But that's when things start. So what I see often with my clients, and of course I know the answer, but and we want to talk to the people that are watching and listening today. How do you change your thoughts? Because I've become aware of my thoughts, and as soon as I'm aware, I change them, but before I know it, I'm back to those thoughts again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what helps is meditation, of course. Emptying out is part of meditation as well. You can say that, but also being quiet, looking at yourself. What also helps is to let go of any how do you say,
Hmm.
judgment for yourself. So how you change thoughts is to really stop believing them. But even more important is to start feeling the feeling which is connected to the thought,
Hmm.
because that has power. And as
Yes.
soon as you hear the thought in your head and you start to feel where it is, where do I feel this feeling? How does it feel, this feeling? What color has it got? Does it push me down? Does it tickle me? Is it the E feeling? Whatever, you go there. You do not fight the feeling. No, you welcome it, because this feeling is a part of that little child that you once were,
Hmm.
which experienced all kinds of stuff which was not so nice.
Yes.
And these feelings attached to that little child still want to be acknowledged. And all you do is repeating this feeling, and you want to solve this feeling, and you tried very often to solve that in the outside world.
Yes.
Doesn't work. So the only way you can really change it is by allowing, it's important, allowing yourself to really feel. How does it feel? And then to see, how old was I when I first felt this? Was it
Hmm.
6 years, 8 years, 2 years? And then welcome this part of you that subconsciously still lives somewhere in all your billions of cells. We
Yes.
carry that information with us.
Hmm.
It's still there, it's present, and it draws certain circumstances to you,
Hmm.
because we want to get this solved. So the more you solve it, because by feeling, I'm getting really exciting now. By feeling, you solve it.
Hmm.
Really. The feeling itself is the solvement of the pain.
Yes.
And all I do in my seminars, in my workshops, in my intensives, in the many, I've written 6 books, I lead people to these feelings.
Hmm. I love that you're saying that because it's, for one, so true. But emotions are energy in motion. So that means that energy needs to keep moving. It needs to keep flowing. Yet, so many of us, we try to suppress or repress our
That's it.
emotions. We try to deny that they are there. We don't want to listen to them. We don't want to feel them. And we try to make them go away because they're inconvenient. They usually
Exactly.
present themselves in a moment when we you just cannot have them, or they're just not welcome or
Yeah,
not convenient.
yeah,
And of course, there are certain situations where I can imagine that they might not be very convenient, and that's okay. But then you need to revisit these emotions in the evening. You need to actively connect with them again, because feelings need to be felt. They are indeed the things that are trying to tell you something, and your feelings are the key to happiness.
that's what I was going to say. You know, I have a mother. Let's talk about mothers.
Oh,
I have
yes.
a mother of 88 years, and she just had a hip operation. And
Hmm.
she's a woman, well, I don't know, in Dutch we say 47 kilos. She's really tiny.
A lightweight.
I can blow her away.
Yeah.
And she has a mind, my God, so stubborn. Oh, you know, she sometimes, not very often anymore, but sometimes she gets a bit on my nerve, and she can touch me in a space that I think, oh my God, this is what I experienced as a child. When she said this or that, because she doesn't like any help from me, and I want to help her, and God, she's gonna fall again. Please help walk with a carrier or whatever. No, 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 she don't. Well, all this stuff. But sometimes she really knows to touch me on a sore space,
Hmm.
and it's subtle. I mean, before years ago, it would break me. I would be heartbroken. But nowadays, I can feel it like a pinpoint. Oh, oh. And all I do is I feel what's there, and then I say, this poor child of me.
Hmm.
Oh, what have I gone through when I was a child? Because this is a repetition of when I was small and I wanted to help my mother, and she bashed me away. She didn't want me to help her, and I would be broken because here I came with my heart pouring out, and she would turn me away without
Hmm.
any consent, yeah, well, that.
Yes, and with
And
any regard for your feelings, and it's a very important message, because what you are basically talking about is that you are able to distinguish between a hurt that is the adult Antoinette hurt, or a hurt that is the child Antoinette hurt.
yes,
And I've had to learn to make that distinction too, because what I've learned, and correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of my hurts were child Barbara hurts.
absolutely. No, absolutely. It's for everybody. Don't think, oh no, not me. That's crazy. I just live in the present. Oh no, your present is your past.
Hmm.
And the more you get space in your past, the more you can say, I allow myself to feel everything which is there. And I allow myself to look into my past and embrace that little child, that inner child of mine. The more space you get, the more mature you get, and the
Hmm.
more present you become. And your present, your environment will broaden up, will get much bigger because you will see possibilities which you could not see before
Hmm.
because you were looking at a very from a very
Narrow.
narrow
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah. I don't know if this is also true for you, Antoinette, but I often now feel like a sort of a spectator. I can see which part of me gets hurt, and I know where it comes from. And then I can sort of see how it used to play out. And I can see now how I'm making a different choice, and how I can now heal that part. And then I think I've come such a long way.
There we are. There we are. And the longer the way is, the more beautiful it gets. The
Hmm.
more you will see yourself. And the triggers, they dissolve.
Hmm.
As I said, I don't know if I said that. I have a partner, I have a man. Yeah, I told you.
Hmm. Yes.
And this relationship is the best ever. And I can say that after 8 years. It's
Hmm.
the best ever. It's a loving relationship. And my past relationships, oh, we had a little fights and
Yes.
feelings hurt and not feeling seen and not feeling acknowledged and denied and God knows what else.
Hmm.
it's different. It's different because all the places where I used to get hurt dissolved because I healed my childhood. I
Yes.
healed myself. And
Mm-hmm.
then coming back to self love.
Mm-hmm.
What really self love is loving the one who you are. But who are you?
Mm-hmm.
Who you are is awareness in essence,
Yes.
is
Exactly.
space, is love, is light. We are not the thinker, the mind,
No.
although you might think, that's a crazy woman. I'm light, I'm love. No, no, no. I'm no, you are not your thoughts because you can look at your thoughts. You are not your emotions. You
No.
can feel your emotions. You are not them. And you're even not the body. You
Mm-hmm.
once came, you got into the body, it developed, and you're gonna leave it. But you are not dying when you die. The body is dying.
Yes.
It's
The
not
soul.
you.
That.
You go out of the body and then you merge again with the light and love that you are. But
Mm-hmm.
you already are that now. And the more you get in touch with this essence of feeling of light and love, and just say it to yourself and let it enter your body and your system. I
Mm-hmm.
am light and love. My essence is light and love. And even if you cannot feel it, even if you cannot comprehend it, whatever, you are still it.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen it. I've seen where I came from. I've emerged in a very deep meditation one time, very deep. And I got visions of me and my American dad. We come meeting each other, and he telling me in this vision, we're going to go to Earth together and you're going to experience all kinds of experiences with me. And I love you. Let's do it
Beautiful.
together. And you know what? He's been dead for many years, I think 25 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I love him to death. And he has broken me once. I was ill for 15 years, could not work because of my experiences with my dad and all the other experiences from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
I was broken. I was 15 years totally not working. And now I'm thousands of people I have changed their lives.
Yes.
I'm working, I'm writing books, I'm giving seminars, events just this weekend with 100 people. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yes.
Uh,
And do you then find that people have changed their behavior towards you, or people are still behaving much in the same way, but you are just responding to it differently, processing it differently?
the last, certainly, my family still sees me who I am. And I I used to be the black sheep in my family. I grew up with three sisters and a brother, and we do not have the same father. I have an American dad, and they have the Dutch dad.
Mm-hmm.
And I was the black sheep.
Mm-hmm.
My stepfather, I grew up with a stepfather, and he used to really put me down. Oh my God, he broke my spine, or whatever. Um, so to my sisters and my mom, I'm still Antoinette, the one
Mm-hmm.
who I am. But I used to be able to really, hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
They can say whatever they like. They don't hurt me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Cannot. My
Yes.
step, my stepdad, whom I grew up with since I was two, he, as I said, he broke me. He used to say to me as a child, "You are so stupid. You are even too stupid to dance for the cows."
Mhm.
And that's a Dutch,
Yeah.
how do you say it, saying.
Saying, a Dutch saying.
And I used to believe him. I thought I was
Mhm.
no good. I thought I was stupid. I thought I couldn't do anything good. The last years of his life, he was still very, very
Sure.
clever. and he could not hurt me anymore. And I mean, if he started on a roll again from this and this, I would only say, "Oh yes, really? Oh, you're having a good day again," and I would make jokes to him. But now comes the good part. I started so loving myself, so he couldn't hurt me anymore. And now comes the good part, because his behavior changed totally, totally, totally. He started approving of myself. I sometimes fell out of my chair that I couldn't believe what he was saying. So
Yeah.
what's happening here? He's giving me approval. And now my stepdad is died like 12 years ago. Through my stepmother, I still get approval from him. Do you know how he used to tell me that he was so happy with you as a child, with whom you are now? And I sometimes I think, wow, it's still
Really, is this
going
the
on.
same man?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So you change your inner beliefs, you start really good looking at yourself. You start
Hmm.
connecting with your essence, with your
Hmm.
light and your love, and your whole life changes. You draw partners towards you who really make you happy, who want to stand next to you, who are supporting you like crazy.
Yes.
You get approval from that people around you. It's crazy. You get a lot of success in your work and a lot of money because I know what I'm worth, and people
Yes.
are willing to pay me because they're happy to pay me because I help them further. It's valuable to look at yourself. It's today I wrote a mail because I write my daily mails in Dutch. And I said in to start a training is an investment in yourself. It doesn't cost your money. No, it gives you money because you start to rebuild yourself. And with this new you, which is not new, it already is in you. It's your essence who you start to live with. With that, money flows. You know, we are all connected to a flow which is abundance. You are, in essence, the abundance itself. There
Hmm.
is no shortage. You are light and love. There is no end to that. And the
No.
more you connect with that, the more can flow to you. And really, it comes towards you in ways that you think, what the fuck is
Where
happening
is it coming
here?
from? Yeah.
Where is it coming? What? Right now, I have one book which is about letting go, which is absolutely bestseller in the Netherlands. And I'm selling like 60, 70 books a day.
Congratulations.
And I didn't know right now, I just don't know what's happening because I already sold thousands of books, but I thought it was getting slower. And I thought,
Yeah.
okay,
Plateauing out, but
the book is going out slowly, like a very slow candle. And then
yeah.
it starts again. And I'm just, I just had ordered a new, how do you say that? A new oplage,
Press. Yeah.
a new press. And then suddenly the new press is gone within weeks.
Yeah.
I have to
And
restock.
you're thinking,
And
yeah, they're flying out of the store.
I'm talking about thousands. And right now I've just ordered again 3,000 books because we cannot keep it up.
How cool is that?
It is crazy.
I'm so happy that you're sharing this, and thank you also for being personal in your story. And I want you viewers and listeners to really hear the gold nuggets that were in Antoinette's story that she just shared, because what she in essence said is that when you start loving yourself first, when you start putting yourself, your needs, your wants in first place, that even when people do not change their attitude, it doesn't affect you in the way it used to anymore, giving you freedom from having to respond the way you were used to responding and able to choose a different type of response to it, for one. But the people that really resonate with your energy, their behavior also starts changing. So the people that you frequently see, that you frequently come into contact with, when you start changing your energy, when you start becoming more loving, more kind, more caring, not only to yourself, but automatically as an extension to other people, they will respond in kind. Because like energy attracts like energy. That means that when you are loving, kind, and positive to people, you get loving, kind, and positive back, which is a very powerful message. And I really wanted everybody to get that out of what you were sharing, because I think this is the core of it, right?
Yep, definitely. So it's all self love is looking at yourself, embracing yourself, and allowing yourself to be as crazy as you are.
Yes. Exactly. And a lot of people, to circle back to the question that we start off with, a lot of people think self-care or self-love is new clothes or going to the hairdresser or a massage or a day of sauna. And of course,
Nice.
those can be a part of
Absolutely.
loving yourself, but they're still mostly on the outside, which is also helpful, but not as effective if you do not do the self-care and the self-love on the inside. And to do the self care and self love on the inside, that means that you need to dive into who you are, connect with who you are at a very deep level, and sort of rediscover the person you always were but have lost sight of. And that means doing the work. And that's a big part of what you are doing, what your mission is here in the world. It's also a big part of what I am doing, what my mission is here in the world, because it starts with us. And when we look at energy, money has the same vibration as love. So money and love are the same energy,
Yes.
which means that if you were more loving, then you're more receiving money.
I forgot to turn off my phone, but the angels started coming in. Yes.
Yes. So this was a very important talk today about this topic, because and I think that's also why your book is taking off so much. We are shifting, the energy is shifting, we are moving into a new era, and that means that a lot of people are what they call awakening, and a lot of people that are already awake are shedding their old self in order to step more into the light, to have that leadership role or to fulfill that leadership role that they came here to fulfill. And I'm pretty sure that you know who I'm talking about if this resonates with you. And if for some reason it doesn't, but you want to know more, then reach out to me or reach out to Antoinette. I'll make sure that the links will be mentioned to you shortly. But we are in this era where we are either awakening and we are confused and we want answers, or we're shedding, and that means letting go,
That's it. And I wrote about letting go.
right?
So that's it. And if you are allowing yourself to let go of these old patterns, of these old thoughts, of pain that you stored all these years, you're gaining so much freedom.
Mhm.
Life can be so beautiful, no matter what circumstances you are in. But I'm telling you, your circumstances will change.
Yes,
It,
exactly.
it cannot be different.
Imagine a life where you are always smiling, no matter what people are saying to you, about you, doing to you. You can retain this positive, happy feeling within yourself, this positive outlook on life, and you are blessed with more money and more friends and the right loving partner coming into your life. And then compare that vision to where you are now. Which would you rather have?
There you go.
Right?
But as you said, you have to do the work.
Yes.
And it's not always easy if you just do it by yourself. It's
No.
much easier if you say, hey, help me look to the right point. Because we cannot always see our splinter under,
Yes.
How do you say that? The thing in your eye that's blocking you. I don't know how you say it.
Exactly.
There must be
We
some
all
good.
have a blind spot for certain aspects of
That's what I
ourselves
mean.
that we
And
cannot see. It's I often compare it to going to the gym by yourself, and you can use all the machines there, and you might lose some weight or gain some muscle. But if you use a personal trainer that looks at you as a person, who you are, your how
oh,
everything works for you, and makes a custom plan for you, you will get there quicker, faster, better. And maybe you were doing a machine that just really was not helpful to you at all in skipping something that would be perfect for you. And that is what outside help can do for you when you start working with a coach or a mentor, or when you go to seminars, or even when you buy a book. You are allowing an outside influence to influence you in a way that has a very positive effect on the journey to where you want to be.
I couldn't say it any better.
I'm so happy. So I can imagine that this has been really a really awesome talk, and I really hope you listeners, watchers out there are loving it. So it would mean the world to me if you could show your love and support by letting us know something in the comments. If you have questions, maybe your biggest insight, having a like for this episode, and if you thought it was really valuable, then by sharing it, because you never know who you know that might need to hear this message here today, and you would be doing them and us a big service.
Sure.
But I can also imagine that you are dying to find out, well, how can we talk more with you, Antoinette? So where can people find you? How can they best reach you?
Uh, I actually, now I have to laugh because I used to be called Mahatma during 12 years. My name was Mahatma, and that's a whole story. It was not my ego that wanted to carry that name. No, I died, but I couldn't do it any other way. And I actually only have one website in English. I have, of course, a big Dutch website with Antoinette, but I have one website in English, and that's called Mahatma.Amsterdam. And I didn't change it. No, I didn't, because my market is here in the Netherlands, and I'm not going to change that. It's
Oh,
too
but it's
much work.
perfectly fine. It still serves a purpose.
Yeah,
So I'll
yeah,
make
yeah.
sure that both the English link for the English speaking listeners to us is available. But you also had some really great giveaways for the Dutch
Yeah.
speaking people. So I'll make sure that both links are included in the show notes of this episode so
Well, I
that.
want to say something about that because I actually I've had several bestsellers in Dutch, and one of these bestsellers is translated into English, but I only made it an ebook because
Mhm.
my market is not English.
No,
And this book is called "You Are Not Alone," and it's really going diving deep, has all kinds of exercises, and it can touch you, and it's for free.
I
You
love
can
it.
get it on my website.
I love it very much.
I think it's on home. I actually haven't even looked at it myself. I'm very well prepared. You know what? I prove myself with all these flaws, with all the not checked. I've been busy and
Mm,
I prove myself. I allow myself to make all the mistakes that I want to make, even if I don't want to make them. But I allow myself, and that gives such a freedom. So
yes.
I could do this. Oh my God, I didn't check it. Oh, what will they think? Oh, they will disapprove of me. Oh my God, fuck it.
Hmm.
That's two important words. Fuck it. I'm
Yes.
not doing that towards you. No, 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 no. Fuck it.
Yeah.
No, we are human beings. We do what we can, and sometimes, fuck it.
Oh, that's just showing up as your authentic self, showing up as who you are. And we all have a life. We're all busy. Things are always happening, and just own it. Everybody's human. Everybody understands everything. So I applaud you for just being your wonderful self and for being a wonderful guest on my show here today. And I want to thank everybody that tuned in, that was listening, that was watching here today. I love you guys. I love your ongoing support for my channel, and it means the world to me. And like I said, I really hope that you will show us your love and support by commenting, by liking, and by sharing. And of course, by tuning in next week again for another episode. Thank you so much, Antoinette, for being here today, for
Thank you
talking
for
about
having me.
this. And I look forward to reading your next book. They've all been wonderful.
Thanks. Be well.
Bye, everybody.